So UFC 317 just wrapped up, and we saw some spectacular shit, didn't we? A lot of first-round finishes, a lot of fantastic fights, and I'm gonna go through, recap everything, and give you, a couple of takeaways from the event. So first of all, as you can see on screen, there's this beautiful fight of Cedric Dumas versus Jason McVeigh. I feel bad for Jason McVeigh. He got called on he got called on to make his debut. Cedric Dumas. Let's just say he's not breaking stereotypes. I'll put it at that. And then his opponent, Christian Ewart, came in 3 days notice. Didn't even try a cut weight. Like 10 pounds, mate. Like what the fuck, man? Just don't. You're just jeopardizing your future. Anyway, alright, moving on to the first round of the card, Jonathan Deniz versus Alvin Hines. Look, Jonathan Deniz won a clear 2-1, 29-28. I think, Alvin Hines is a fairly decent fighter. 4 years, that prison shit, I don't know, maybe you can research that yourself, but 4 years fighting, he's got a nice one too, but that's pretty much all he has. He's got jab, he's got a right hand down the pipe, and he's got a 1-2. That's all he has, And Jonathan Deniz, this guy fallen glory. Like, he ain't no spring chicken, he ain't nobody. You can't just expect to be this predictable and not get hit with nice counters. But the good thing is, Alvin Hines, tough-ass chin. He does wear damage a lot, though. So that was quite interesting, actually. I was watching it, and he was like, he got hit with a tiny jab. He started bleeding everywhere. It's a bit fucking interesting. But either way, Hines, pushed the pace. Deniz, was hitting him with that pullback left hand, that right hand, head off the center line, right hand. And, yeah, he dominated the first 2 rounds doing that, and then kind of gassed. Hines came in and, kept the pressure on him. Deniz wasn't able to, move back, light footwork, do the same shit, couldn't do it. I just want to quickly say, Hines did some really nice adjustments. From the second I saw the thing, I was screaming that he should go to the body, because, Deniz was purely left hand, at the chin, right? So you should go to the body as Deniz is backing up. It's safe, your shoulder protects you, and you can land longer. And the second, so he did end up doing that in the third round. I think his corner was probably a big part of that. And the second thing, nice adjustment he made was Deniz would kept dipping to his lower left, and late second round he did it twice. He threw a head kick when he did, and he threw a knee. None of them landed. He did again in the third round, but not much efficiency. Nothing really landed. Yeah, I mean, yeah, good fight. He's not, none of these guys are fat asses. And perhaps we'll see something greater heavier from them. Okay, next on the card, Jacoby Smith, Nico Price. Obviously, Jacoby Smith coming in as, I think, the biggest underdog. The biggest favorite, not underdog, in UFC history. It's like minus 2,100. Mate, that's fucking ludicrous, honestly. Yeah, I mean, he kind of went out there and showed it, but I wasn't actually that impressed with him. Yes, he's athletic, he's got those, thin waist, bigger back, very athletic, very explosive. His striking he kind of looks like a hungry animal there. A tiger, like, he just wants to kill, but he's not efficient. He's not technical with it. He's just going there to kill. And he's just relying on the fact that he's, a physical superior, which he is. Nico Price an old-ass fucking man. And he did it in the first round, hurt him, got him down, and then beat him up. Second round, yeah, I mean, he showed that he has his wrestling credentials. Obviously, we've kind of seen American wrestling being disproven throughout time, up the caucus. But, yeah, look good. Rode with him. That sounds a bit sus. Pause. Don't. But, move with him. I would like to see him chase the finish over them. First round, similar scenario as how he actually got the finish. Nico Price gave this back. He went total. And, he left a glaring space for the hooks to come in. Yes, he was against the fence, but there was more than adequate space. Jacoby Smith didn't shoot the hooks. I don't know why. I just saw it. Was like, mate, it's open. It was there for like 3 seconds, and he just didn't. Yeah, but he did it second round. Got him. Got the RNC in. Yeah, nice. Gas a little bit. I don't know. I'm not that hyped about him. I don't think he's that amazing. I think he'll reach the ceiling where athleticism isn't the only thing that you can rely on, and he'll just get beaten up. Alright, moving on to prelims. Oh, Lord. Okay, Terrence McKinney, Vyacheslav Borshev. I just want to say, I love Slava calls. say what you want about how good he is, but man, it's just so funny. Right? Like, you come in, bald head, big beard, and Santa hat. Just a bit of a fucking character. Quick fight. There's not much to talk about it. Terrence McKinney got him down. He I think he went for a toss, and then he transitioned to a mounted ghillie. And then, yeah, Bolshov is tough. Didn't tap until late. But McKinney got it done quick and easy. Alright, next fight. Viviani, Araujo, Tracy Cortez. I mean, look, it's not that bad as it comes to female fights. It's okay when it comes to female fights, but it really wasn't that amazing. Especially when you compare it to just the sheer fucking, amazing finishes, amazing barn burners on this card. Brilliant card. Top to bottom, fucking feel for olives, But we'll get to that. Okay, so the fight was essentially if Tracy Cortez could get her to the ground, she would win because Viviani Araujo would do some stupid shit. And, like, on the feet, they have nothing for each other, right? It's just, yeah, they have tight technical boxing, but that's it. It's just the basics. There's nothing on top of that. Like, you look at Joshua Van, he builds. Obviously, it helps if the guy's coming forward and trying to punch the living daylights out of you, but he can build. He has setups. He goes forward. They just stand in front of each other and just go, oh, jab, jab. It's like looking tennis. Okay, let's talk about the grappling. Round 1, Cortez gets it down. Araujo does a nice scramble and gets Cortez's back, but she gets a bit overzealous. She slides off, and then I think Cortez goes for a ghillie, doesn't really get it, and then she just kind of lays on top of her. I think she landed quite a bit of damage at the end of the later half of that round, but yeah, it was pretty much sit on top. At least it's a nice view of Cortez, Pause. Wait, why is that a pause? That's not gay. I meant jiggle. Okay, whatever. Maybe I'm gay. Maybe I'm closer. Who the fuck knows? Round 2. Yeah, most of the round was on the feet. Like 4 out of 5, like 4 minutes, 4:20 was on the feet. They're just standing in front of each other. I will admit, there was a nice front kick, or was that round 3? Oh, I think it was round 3. Yeah, so on the feet, and then Cortez decides, oh, you know what, maybe I should do something. She shoots a double. Oh, no, there was a spinning elbow in round 2. That was an interesting strike. Yeah, so Araujo landed a cool spinning elbow. I say cool, barely landed, but yeah. Cortez got sport of standing in front of each other, shoots a double. Viviani pulls a ghillie. It was a nice ghillie, but she was a bit high, so she fell off the neck, and then Cortez sat on top of her for the rest of the round. Round 3, again, boring on feet, but that was a cool front kick to Cortez, but Albert, it gets caught. She gets plopped on her ass, and then Cortez goes for an arm triangle. She couldn't really get her left leg free from half. If she could, then obviously she could transition to, I think it was the left side, yeah, and then just squeeze. Couldn't do it. And then Araujo was complaining about like Vaseline or some shit on the gloves. I don't know. And she's a bit of a salty cunt after the fight. So fuck you, Viviani Araujo. You got the shit being out of you, just accept it. Okay, no one's here to watch you anyway. Alright, Haida Emil, Jose Delgado. Man, Jose Delgado's long, eh? He's a long fucker. Yeah, it's a short fight. 26 seconds. It was fun. Haida Emil comes out blasting leg kicks, and then Delgado's like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't get kicked so much, so he starts playing that range game. He's switching to get the angles. Then he, enters, gets a double under, goes for a throw, but Emil does a really nice kick, so that sort of just sends him flying. But he didn't chase after that, which is, I think, a bit disappointing from what I want to see. Like, if you're gonna get the guy down, you might as well, and you can get on top of him, you should probably chase him, right? They regain distance, and then Jose goes for a combination, goes a long ass right hand. He heavily overswings on that. I don't know, honestly. If you're finding a guy who's not how tall is Haida Emil? I don't have heights. Shit. Well, Haida Emil looks like he was 5'5" in there. Okay. I can do that because I'm short as well. If you're not finding a guy who's 5'5", that's never going to work, and you're going to get whacked in the face. But it worked. I got Haida Emil moving back, and then because he's so long and so fast, he was able to get a left plum, so left hand on Haida Emil's neck, and then he peeled Haida Emil's left hand with. Delgado peeled Haida Emil's left hand with his right hand, and he threw a beautiful left knee up the middle, KOing him. Yeah, good KO, really fun. yeah, get him up the rankings, I guess. Get him something good. Get him something good. Okay, Gregory Rodriguez, Jack Hermansson. Again, really fast finish. I think Hermansson's boxing has improved a lot, but the problem is he's improved a lot in the shell, right? When he's leaning forward, his hands are tight against his hips, against his ribs. That's when he's improved. He's got really tight defense there, but he didn't. He had holes when he was moving back and leaning back, which is ultimately how Rodriguez caught him, right? Hermansson didn't really start until later in the rounds. He was pretty much letting Rodriguez walk forward, jab, touch, go through combo, and then walk forward again, getting pressure. It was kind of obvious that Rodriguez had the power. Look at him, but every single punch he threw, even on Hermansson's shoulder, was kind of making him move back. So obviously, bit of a physical difference there. Hermansson was hitting him. He got him with a couple of jabs. It was really weird. He just started bleeding from the smallest, least powerful shots. And if you look at his face after the fight, it just cuts everywhere. I think it's probably because of a lot of scar tissue, or maybe it's just like Alvin Hines, how some people are just genetically built to take damage and show damage. Not take damage. People just genetically built to show damage. I think that's what happened. So Rodriguez was blasting that jab, right hand, left hook combo, and then he got Hermansson with the right hand, left hook as Hermansson exited with the hand down. And then, I do want to talk about the hammer fist. I think it was completely unnecessary. I get it from the fighter's perspective, but come on, Rodriguez, you know how powerful you are. It's not the first time you've knocked someone out, right? You know when you land something like that and the guy goes down like that. It's unnecessary. Don't really shit on Herb too much. Was he a bit slow? Yes, but was he reaching? Yeah, so I guess it is what it is. It was a little bit scary when I saw Hermansson out for a while, but he seems to be fine. I think they made a couple of comments about how he recovered later on during the card. Okay, Talbot Lima. Now, obviously, Talbot's coming off a grappling loss to Raoni Barcelos, but can we just talk about how this guy must be hella intelligent, or Raoni Barcelos must just be completely different physically. He might be. Raoni Barcelos looks like he's on roids. But, Payne Talbot was just able to, get strong fucking hips and just able to out-grapple Felipe Lima. From the start, Lima was quite scared of Talbot's power, even though he was landing better. Throughout the fight, I honestly think Lima, with the section of, the last round, Lima landed the better shots on the feet. As in the cleaner shots. The power is obviously dependent on the fighter themselves, right? I don't know. I just think for some reason Payton just got that aura that just makes people scared of him, which is a bit interesting because he is, the Frank Ocean soy. But hey, I think being a fighter kind of redeems that a little bit if you're against that shit. Personally, I don't give a fuck. Just don't indoctrinate me. Okay, let's go through the fight. Lima has a really fast right overhand. He does overswing. And Talbot wasn't really reacting. I don't know why. He just he's really stoic, right? He's like Pereira. They just eat the punches and it's like, okay, whatever. But, I feel like when he gets gymmed, it'll be the same shit as Pereira. His face will not move. He will eat like a big shot, his face will not move, and he'll just fall down flat. Alright, good takedown defense from Talbot. Lima obviously initiates the grappling the first round. He gets the body lock. Talbot has amazing balance. Bro, he is an athlete, right? And then, so Lima gets the body lock. He counter dances around. He grabs, he rolls, and then he ends up on top. They go standing, and then I think Talbot gets double unders and goes for a lat drop, but Lima just nah, fuck you, just falls on top of him. He gives up, and then Lima sort of just, they sort of scramble and get back up. I give the first round to Lima. I know it's close, but I think just the shots he landed on the feet and how he was pretty much in control of the fight gave him that round. The second round really showed how Payton doesn't have that much head movement. He would put his head off center line when he throws, but when he's defensive, it's really just a move back, and he doesn't move his feet that much with it. So if if he doesn't have his range correct, he can't get caught really, really heavy, which is what you saw happen when Lima was throwing some big nice shots. So again, round 2, Lima's going on the takedowns. I know his corner. I think his corner was screening for striking, which everyone saw. But just obviously you don't know what happens in there. He obviously was scared. I don't think that's the right way to fight, right? Lima goes for a cool takedown. So he gets a nice single leg, and then he gets like this cool reverse sweep where he sort of brings him down, like, he tries to turn the corner, brings him down, but he doesn't fully get it, and then he just like, sweeps out with his leg backwards and gets Talbot down. But however, he does drop Talbot's the leg he was holding from the single leg, which gives Talbot enough space to scramble, and then he gets on top of Lima. He just sort of jumps on top of him. Then they get up. He goes for another. Talbot sort of just pushes him down. He lies back on him again. They get up, and then Talbot's like again Talbot's just stalking Lima now. Lima's constantly against the fence. He doesn't give a shit that he's against the fence. He's not scared. He's not trying to do anything, which I don't think is the right way to fight. But yeah, going the fence, he was content there, and then Talbot, started entering that flow state a little bit, throwing spinning kicks as Lima kept circling the same direction. Yeah. I think Lima got his back. Yeah, at the end of the round, Lima gets his back. Alright, and then Talbot goes total, but butt up in the air, and he starts to like buck or hump. I don't know what the word is. There's probably a better word. Lima falls down, ends up to north south, and then he, obviously doesn't want to be north south. He turns as Talbot goes to get him out. He turns, and then Talbot gets him out, and then he ends up on his back at the end of the round as Lima tries to escape now by getting his back. Okay, round 3, enters first set really early, does use some shots again. Lima did throw a nice knee up the middle, but yeah, it's just, I think Talbot's just physically superior. I think that's what it was. And Lima was fighting scared. And it does a really weird interaction in the grappling where Talbot ends up in mount, but Lima like puts his legs up, and then he kind of crabs in a way. And they end up in 69. Like, say what you want about Payne Talbot, but he was straight up sitting on Lima's face. Like, bro, gooch the face, man. Like, he ain't beating the allegations. I actually don't think he wants to beat the allegations, but hey. Yeah, so Talbot ends up controlling on the ground for the rest of the fight. He lands some big ground and pound shots, and then Talbot wins the fight, easy 2-1, 29-28. Moicano Dariush, I just want to say, financially motivated Moicano might be a mythical fighter, but it doesn't solve his gas tank issue, which I'm so fucking sad. I wanted Moik to win, man. Fuck, I'm such a Moik fan. But it is what it is. Round 1 on the striking was pretty much Beneil blasting kicks. Really nice kicks. I want to make a quick comment on the way he throws them. The way he throws them is he puts his hips high and he looks up. Right? A lot of Japanese kickboxers do this. There's a guy called Yuki Yosa who does this really well. He fights on 1FC. Really good fighter. Just don't shit on 1FC. The MMA shit, but the kickboxing and Muay Thai, man, if you got the time, you gotta watch it. It's just so entertaining. And they're mostly free as well. You don't have to pay for it. Yeah, so he puts his hips high, looks up, kicks. So, you don't know where he's going. Moik was really looking for that right hand. He had really nice distance management in that fight. That's what I really want to say. And he had really nice combos. I think he threw like a 1-2-3 head kick combo, which was really beautiful. It was like classic kickboxing, but so nice. I do think Moicano's a bit slow on the feet. Like, yes, he's long. Yes, he's absurdly long. And yes, he's got power, but the shots just seem a bit slow. And you see it like a lot when he had in the first round when he had Beneil backing up, fully shelled up, and he was going forward. And yes, he was throwing light, obviously to evoke a reaction, get Beneil to tense, and then not know when Moicano is going to throw a big shot. But even then, they seemed really slow. Like, you can throw light and fast, but he just didn't. Yeah. At the end of the round, they were exchanging. Beneil exits first, and he exits straight, and you cannot do that against a tall, long fighter like Moicano. Blossoms up right, drops him. They go to the ground. Moicano, attacks Beneil's backs. He doesn't get a hook. Beneil circles out, and then he survives to the end of the round. Okay, round 2. Same stuff. Beneil with the kicks, Moicano with the right hand, looking to pull counter. Beneil blitzes in. Hurts Moicano. I think he hurts Moicano there. Like, he hits Moicano with a nice right hand, I want to say. And then, Moicano goes grappling, right? He's survival mode, but Beneil is the better grappler. He genuinely is the better grappler. He stuffs attacks. I also think it's because he's a bit more physical than Moicano. Moicano's got that tall, long, wiry strength, but Beneil's a bit more solid and compact. So, Beneil basically shoves Moicano to the ground. He gets to the fence. Benil takes Moicano's back, and then Moicano stands and Benil's still hanging on the back, and then I think Moicano goes turtle. Yeah, and then he goes turtle, peels the leg off, and then he turns into Benil. Then they go over unders. Moicano's back defense. Benil grabs a double leg and then dumps Moicano, and then Moicano's gas at this point, right? He's been grappling, throughout the first round. The entire second round's pretty much grappling, and his arms are weak, knees are sweaty. Wait, shit, I don't know the lyrics. Fuck. Oh well, they chuck the Eminem shit in. He's tired. Long grappling exchanges. He's sort of just assessed position, which, as in a 2-round fight, you never want to see. And I truly think it's because Moicano is showing his age, which is so sad. He's just so entertaining, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah. What can I say? He assesses position, Benil's just sits in half. He tries for an arm triangle, but he can't really get it because Moicano just keeps surviving. But pretty much sits in half for most of the round, and at the end, Moicano goes, he stands up to land ground and pound. Moicano goes for the leg, and then Benil kind of stacks him and lands a bit of damage. That's a clear round 2 for Benil. And then round 3, it's pretty much just he dominates Moicano on the grappling. The first shot, he's got a minute. Moicano's had a minute to recover. He's able to sprawl, and then he shoots, but Moicano's able to escape and then grabs front headlock. But then nothing. He can't make anything happen from there. Benil lands some nice liver kicks as they separate, and then it's quite obvious that Moicano was visibly tired, just grappling, and then Benil just sits him down and just controls his back and just wins. This is genuinely just a cardio thing, which is ironic because Moicano was calling Darius old. 15 days, my brother. Fucking one guy looked like an old man, one guy looked like a semi-old man, and the semi-old man won. So, good performance from Benil Dariush. I think Moicano's gonna get fed to the wolves, man. He's gonna get fed to the wolves. I think Esteban Ribovic has a fight lined up against Alexandre Topuria. Oh wait, no, why am I saying this? Wait, no. No, I saw Esteban Ribovic has a fight lined up. Not against Alexandre Topuria, that's stupid. I swear Esteban Ribovic has a fight lined up. Give me a sec. I don't know. I think it's a fight lined up. Winner of that, you can arguably give Moicano. I know he's coming up with a loss in the last fight, Hack-Taras, but he was fairly controversial. He shouldn't have lost that. Anyway, I'd like to see Benil, I guess, perhaps establish his ranking again, because he beat Moicano, but he's coming off 2 losses, right? So give him someone in the top 10 to 15, and we'll see what happens from there. Alright, Rob Van Dam. I just want to say, what a fucking barn burner, right? What a fun fight. Amazing. Poor Van fuck Paul Van Rivera. Just what a fight. Eh? And also, bro, Van could make history here. Oh no, he can't, Jones. Yeah, but Jones doesn't count. No one likes Jones. Fucking drug cheat. Joshua Van, bro, 23 is crazy, man. This guy's 3-4 years older than me. That makes me feel unaccomplished. I'm here chatting to my laptop, and he's going out there and just beating the shit out of each other, out of some guy. Alright, let's go through it. One of the primary concerns coming into this fight was how Royval was so long, and as a result, you see a lot of long tour fighters like Adesanya. They're really comfortable leaning back and dropping their hands. Ironically, Volk does that too, but you see that happen, and this is sort of what Van capitalized on. That and the fact that Royval's just hands is really lazy and low. So first round, Royval comes out immediately with a shit ton of volume. He's got, he's kicking Van from all angles, lead kicks, the lead kick, the rear kick, and he's blasting that long ragey jab, which is really nice. Van stays patient for pretty much the first minute and a half, and then he's pretty much parrying, and then if a Royval jab slips through the parry, he will just move his neck back, and it might hit his nose, it might not. It's really hard to see. So he stays patient, he eats leg kicks. But then he starts, countering Royval's attacks, right? Royval starts hitting 1-2, and then 1-1, like Roval would throw 1-1-2, and then Van would go like an overhand into a left hook, and then he would just do a slight roll, get back into range. Right hand of Van was money in the first round. He starts taking over in the later half with the counters. Roval is obviously scared of the power. Van has amazing power. Yeah, and then pretty much the story of the first round was Roval lands more, Van lands harder. Right? Like, from the way it looked, I think if you fight 5-6 rounds of this, you're gonna have a different variation every time. It's just in the first round, Van took it. I really liked how when he would initiate the attack, sometimes he'd go like jab 2. He would mix the 2 up to the body and head because Roval would lean back and be a bit too long, and then that's where you're gonna hit the body, right? I would like to see a lot more fighters do that because there's a lot of fighters on this card where this would work a lot, right? Okay. Anyway, round 2, they again come out and they're just firing at each other. The clinch of Van is interesting. He does the same shit as Topuria did, which I wasn't, happy with Topuria when I saw the clips, but it worked for Van. Pretty much it'd stay hip to hip with Roval, and Roval wouldn't look to throw anything with the hands. He'd just keep the the double plum, and just throw knees while Van's just blasting body shots, which was really nice and cool. And he, obviously you don't want to sit there taking powerful body shots, right? So he gets Roval to release the clinch, which is nice. Again, similar story to round 1. Like, it's pretty much the same shit. Roval circling, or going forward 1-1-2, 1-2-3, and then Van would just counter with that right hand and that left hook, and sometimes it would go Roval enters, Van, Roval throws enters with like 2 or 3 shots. Van would throw 2 or 3, and then when he exited, Roval would throw 2 or 3 more. Now, in the second round, it was close, but I gave it to Roval purely because when Van was exiting and Roval was throwing, Roval was able to land clean, as opposed to the first round where he sort of wasn't able to land as much when Van exited, and he wasn't chasing that, punishing that exit as much. I did notice that Van doesn't actually give that much of a shit about the outside foot battle. Classic Southpaw Orthodox, you want to defeat on the outside so you can land power, but it didn't matter to Van. And he obviously wasn't phased by Roval's power, right? It didn't matter to Van. It obviously didn't matter at the end of the day, right? He was just able to throw, and I think that's ultimately what won the fight. The determination to throw, and not just touch the opponent, but damage the opponent. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's all there was in this fight, right? Second round, gave it to Roval. Third round, Van's really more under pressure now. So it's similar to first 2, but Van is really, really pushing it himself. He's punishing Roval as he circles. So Roval kept circling, but Van was able to punish him with that straight 2 as he circled towards it. Again, similar shit, going to the pocket, exchanging. Roval would normally blast like really short, straight punches, and then Van would counter with like looping punches. But Roval, similar to round 1, wasn't really chasing Van as he exited. So you're pretty much landing like similar shots, or like Roval's landing 1 less shot than Van, but Van's landing like 2 or 3 times harder, right? So obviously you gotta go for Van. I really liked Van made a really nice adjustment with the oblique kick. So Roval would obviously go forward straight. He wouldn't, feint, go forwards. He wouldn't feint, take an angle, then go forward. He'd go forward straight, oblique kick, fully stops that. I do actually want to quickly mention, Roval stopped kicking after the first round. Van did it. You see in the second round, Van was periodically blasting kicks as they would separate and sort of stare at each other for a little bit and breathe, which is really nice. I really like that. Last couple seconds, Van throws the same counter as he was always doing, but he lands flush this time with the right hand, drops Roval, hurts him really bad. Last 10 seconds. Obviously securing that round. I personally think Van was winning the round regardless of whether he dropped him or not. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't. It's up to you. But I think he was. So, easy 2-1 Van. I don't think he beats Pantoja, man. Not because of the striking, because I don't think he can deal with the grappling and just the recklessness of Pantoja, and how he will just walk forward towards you, and regardless of what, just find something, whether it's a kick to disengage or just shoot a takedown. I just don't think he can. But I guess we'll see, right? Okay, guys, Kai Kara France. By the way, Pantoja's fought 2 guys named Kai in a row. I didn't just notice this, and not just now, but it's actually, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. Okay, no, it's not fucking interesting, but I don't know, it's a weird coincidence, eh? Alexandre Pantoja, Kai Kara France. Pantoja goes and proves that, mate, he is so underrated. He is so good. Or just shows that Kai Kara France is really not that good, and I never really thought Kai Kara France was that good. You know, everyone keeps saying Fly was skilled. I think they're overrating them. Like, Kai Kara France is a brawler. He doesn't have much, but just big swinging hooks. Steve Usyk, as much as I love Steve Usyk, shout out Big Time MMA, bro, he just point fights. Like, Joshua Van's nice, but like, we haven't really seen his ground game. Like, we've seen him stuff takedowns, but we haven't seen his offensive ground game. Yeah, I don't know. I think if I was being slightly overrated, they're still good. Obviously, line of man skill is such a real thing, you know. But I genuinely think bantamweights are more skilled. At least the top ones. Maybe not throughout the entire division, but at least the top bantamweights are more skilled. I don't know. Is that hard to fucking dish out on me in the comments if you are listening to this and you give a shit. Alright, let's go over the fight. So, round 1, Pantoja comes out swinging. You know, Pantoja's tall, but he doesn't use his height. He just, tucks down. He's like a Muay Thai fighter. He tucks down, but his shoulders are up. But his hands aren't like a Muay Thai. It's really more boxing stance. And, it's kind of like that Tyson. What's it called? What's it called? The Tyson guard. Anyway, regardless. He comes out swinging, big ass flurry. He does a nice stepping knee, and then he continues to flurry. Kai obviously sees that, eats some shots, starts exchange. But he gets 1 or 2 shots off, and then Pantoja just blasts a double leg and dumps him. Kai starts to scramble, but he gives his back to Pantoja, and Pantoja does a really cool back take where he'll get to your back and he sort of just lift you up and then lift you up, or just pull you down into his legs. Pause. So he does that, and he did it twice, right? He does that, and he gets Kai into a body triangle. Kai struggles for about a minute or so. He finally breaks triangle, and then he breaks triangle, they scramble, Pantoja gets half, sits there for a while, throws some knees to the body. He goes for an arm triangle. It was a pretty tight arm triangle, I'll be honest, but he couldn't really fully get it. He gets mount off that, but Kai defends by going into getting half guard back. And then Pantoja sort of just lays there with some knees to the body and some tippy tappy shots. Tippy tappy. Yeah. But you saw Kai actively push his left hand on Pantoja's left hip, so he can get like a butterfly hook. Right. So, like, the left leg was trapped in half, so he could get that left leg out and get a butterfly hook, but couldn't do it. I think Kai looks his burst, and then Pantoja takes it back and gets a rear naked choke last 10 seconds. Couldn't finish it. Easy round 1 to Pantoja. Round 2. Pantoja threw some nice combinations, Like, are they the most technical? No. Does it look like he's sort of semi-drunk? Yes. But are they effective? Well, I wouldn't say they're effective, but because they don't land clean. But they do well, and they're good, combos. And they get your opponent moving back. Alright, round 2. Pantoja is throwing, 1-2 head kicks, but he's obviously heavily leaning to head kick. Kai's really hesitant. He's either fully backing up. He's pretty much fully backing up, right? And he doesn't, he's obviously really worried about that. He's really fucking worried about the takedown. I'm gonna shoot on Kai here. Bro, how are you going to be the number 4 contender in the world and fight like an old man who's pulling up his britches? He keeps sitting down and bro, what are you doing? Like, how's your entire career been made off the fact that you have a right overhand and a left hook? I don't get it. Like, when are you gonna evolve, man? You literally have city kickboxing. When are you gonna, I don't know, kickbox? Bro, it just seems so one-dimensional sometimes. Yeah, and it was really showing, right? like Pantoja was going and winning the throne. Kai was just not. Later in the round, he was starting to exchange a little bit, but he yeah. This is so shit from Kai. I don't know what to say, man. Pantoja does that blitz, 1-2 head kick, and then Kai obviously only moving back, right? He thinks Pantoja's finished, he starts to circle out where Pantoja continues, and all he does is just run at him. He literally runs at him and just rugby tackles him pretty much. He just knocks him into the ground. And puts him on his ass, but Kai, was able to scramble up to the fence. He was able to split his legs from the double. He was fought hands and gets clear. And then when he swings, he just heavily overswings, man. He heavily overswings and he dips hella low. His legs are so wide apart, and it's just like he doesn't even go to the body. It's literally overhand, and then don't hit me, please. That's literally all he's doing. He's like, whoosh! Oh, please don't hit me. Okay, I'm free. Whoosh! Please don't hit me. Oh, it's so fucking sad to watch, man. He kept doing that, and then Pantoja, obviously not being an idiot, times it and lands a beautiful knee. I don't think it landed on the chin. I think it landed on the chin and would have KO'd him. It did land on the chest, but it made him, make Kai think, maybe I shouldn't do that as much. But it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, right? Because we know what happens in the fight. Round 3, come out exchanging, a bit of a brawl, but similar to round 1, he gets a body lock. Kai goes for a whizzer. He doesn't get it. So he gets a fully body lock. He gets Kai's back. Similar to round 1, Pantoja is towards the fence, but Kai's in front of the fence, but Kai's back is towards Pantoja. So it's pretty much koala bearing him, and then he just drags him down. He literally jumps and just drags Kai down. Look, I don't know how to describe this. He just fucking sits him down, grabs a figure 4. Kai's away from the fence, so he can't use it as a tool. He just, Pantoja just sits there for a while, getting Kai to, calm down, breathe, and then he just, boom, shoots with the RNC. Kai did quite a good job fighting for it. He peeled away the choking hand like 2 or 3 times. But at the end of the day, didn't fucking matter. It tapped. My main takeaway from watching all of this, right, is that Pantoja kind of looks like the flyweight Marab. Like, he really fights like Marab. Marab will just usually straight up shoot, but you see, like, in the Mali fight, he was doing 1-2 into shoot, right? That's pretty much what Pantoja was doing. But Pantoja's a bit more diverse in his takedowns. He doesn't, fully go for double legs. He's more than okay with taking it back and taking you down from your back than he is from anywhere else. Yeah, so, good job from Pantoja. I mean, he fights Joshua Van next. I think he runs through him purely based off the grappling. But I guess we'll see. Alright, on to the main event. I mean, what did I say, man? I called it. I called over a Charles would reach for like a frame and get countered. Which is, not exactly what happened. He went for a right hand and then got countered over the right hand. But it's just poor fucking Charles, man. Bro, seeing Charles cold hurt me. But also, I was so happy because Ilya won as well. Like, this is a fight where the only ones who win are the ones whose favorite fighters aren't these two. Which, in this case, it was kind of okay for me. But, yeah, because, Volk wasn't fighting. But still, fucking seeing Ilya win after knocking out Volk does hurt. Anyway, let's go with the fight. Yeah, they just walked forward at each other. It was literally a car crash. Genuinely a car crash. I think everyone knew it was going to be a car crash. Like, you can't not watch this and not predict a car crash. I didn't think Ilya would throw as much as he did. Because if you watched Holloway and Volk fight, he was a lot more composed. Maybe it was because, he was a bit more... Maybe it's because they're, like, more technical fighters than Charles. Maybe it's because, in the Volk fight, he was a bit, shit, I'm getting a title shot, man. The confidence wasn't fully there. But, he just went in there and they started blasting each other. One thing I really like what Charles did is that leg kick, rear leg kick. Rogan Holloway didn't do rear leg kicks, and I like how Charles was able to do it, and Ilya didn't do anything about it. He just ate him. He ate him like a good boy. Like, bro, it's not the right way to deal with it, right? I like how Ilya was jabbing. So Ilya, Charles throwing leg kicks, Ilya throwing jabs. Then, bro, like 5 seconds in of that, and then they just go, alright, Put it down on the mouthpiece. Go. Exchange. And they just blast each other. Charles lands a nice right hand. Ilya does a nice left hook. And then Charles blasts a double leg. I lied. Ilya is not too small for lightweight. Ilya is not too weak for lightweight. Well, I didn't lie. I said it could be a possibility. No, he's just way too fucking strong. But honestly, I think he can kill Islam, man. Like, looking at that takedown defense, I genuinely think he can kill Islam. He just bodied and smashed Charles like I said he should. Just shrugged him off. He got side control into crucifix, and then Charles was able to attack Ilya's leg. And then obviously Ilya was like, "Oh shit, I don't really want to engage here when he's attacking my legs." Disengages. Charles Charles gets cut really early on. It's actually quite a big cut. There's a decent bit of blood. But yeah, Ilya escapes from the leg locks. Charles I don't know why, he's just sitting there. Maybe it's gassed, maybe it's hurt. I think maybe if anything he was just recovering, waiting down time. Poor guard just sits there. Ilya just blasts a couple leg kicks, and then my god, it stands him up. And then they exchange again. Olives gets a clinch. What I really like from Ilya is that he have you guys seen a shark thrash? When they bite something and they move their neck a lot and thrash? That's what Ilya did when Charles did the clinch, which is good. I liked how he didn't straight up posture up and move all his weight towards his back. He was able to keep down. He was able to shrug. He was weaving left and right, so Charles couldn't land a good shot on him. And it was kind of fighting the hands in the clinch. He was able to escape. One of my main concerns was obviously the fact that Charles might be able to beat him in the clinch, which he wasn't able to. Then they separate and they go exchange. Ilya throws a right hand, misses. Charles. Ilya throws a left. Ilya throws a jab. Charles throws a right hand. Jab misses. And then Ilya's just throwing 2 punches in the time that Charles throws 1, right? No, actually he threw 3 in the time Charles threw 1, but we'll say 2 because Charles was cold by the time the 3rd punch landed. So jab. Charles throws a 2 as a counter. Ilya counters the 2. Lands flush on Oliver's cheekbone, knocks him completely out. And then follow up left hand, lands on the chest. 1, 2, 3. Pretty much a 1, 2, 3 combo. Follow the 3 lands on the chest, doesn't land on the chin, and Charles goes flat out, eyes open. Yeah. I mean, how good is Ilya Topuria, right? Bro, this guy's so fucking good. He's so dangerous. A bit terrifying, but yeah, hella impressive. I mean, he caught on Paddy Pimblett. Paddy Pimblett got in there. I think they're probably going to make a Paddy Pimblett fight. Which, by the way, sucks for Arman Tsarukyan. Because I know Arman Tsarukyan was watching that cage side and he was like, I'm going to kill myself. He knew the second Ilya caught out Paddy and the second Joe Rogan said, "Oh, bring him in, guys." I think Paddy's a fun fight purely because Paddy's really, really long. But Paddy's so open. And just seeing how Ilya dealt with Charles' ground game, I think he's going to deal with Paddy. But either way, it makes fun. We'll see what happens with JD and Islam. I think JD's got a really good chance of beating Islam. And then if JD beats Islam, he'll probably return down to lightweight. And we'll see if we can make it to Topuria Islam fight. Man, that'd be fun. I mean, yeah, Ilya's a star, man. He's definitely a star in Europe. We'll see if he becomes a bigger star in the US. Obviously, this week, a lot more people supporting Charles than Ilya, but we'll see. And, Ilya's able to show a lot more of the respect he had for Charles and a lot more backstage shit. Which, yeah, I really like. Fuck, man. I mean, people will start loving Ilya once they get over the fact that he knocked out their favorite fighter. And when they do, that's a superstar. And the only thing I can hope is that Ilya stays in the UFC longer. Because I think he's openly said before he could, genuinely, Ilya could retire after 2 or 3 more fights. As one of the greatest of all time. Man, hella impressive. Hella entertaining card. I know the prelims probably should have had an extra fight. I didn't like how a lot of the fights were announced pretty much 1 or 2 weeks out, but Really fun. A lot of early finishes. Hella entertaining. We don't have anything next week. Then we're coming back to Derek Lewis has a show. I think someone's going to get KO'd, so that'll be pretty fun. Yeah. All right. Have a good. Well, it's afternoon here in Australia, so have a good afternoon. Elsewhere, have a good morning. If you're in, I guess, the UK, have a good. Well, technically, it's still morning in the US, I think. So, yeah. Thanks, guys. If you listened, thanks. If you haven't, well, fuck you. But I'm also fuck the algorithm. And let me know what you think. Drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment, maybe. Cheers.